Politicians and celebrities make deals behind closed doors, promises broken, and their income soars. Hidden agendas run the grand parade. In the circus, choose to masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line. Television screens bright and loud, sell you dreams, make you proud. Pop the bubble, see the cage you're in. Start the revolution, let the truth begin. Wake up, defeated lies. Control the media's got you hypnotized. Trust authority, they'll take your soul. Break the chains, find your own control. Wake up.
Welcome and good morning. I just woke up. I have no makeup on. I just crawled out of bed so I could do this really quick because this one is not one that's going to need a lot of time because I think this is the most simple pillar. It is just movement, just moving. Good morning. So let's start off with, most people say that like walking a lot would be not the best way to keep you in shape. They want to sell you a lot of crazy cardio type things, a lot of what are high intensity interval training, all of this crazy stuff. That can be okay, but it's really bad over time on your joints and your heart and things like that. So what I say is you can literally walk yourself into good health. So this is like this is my prescription for the minimum what you need to be healthy and live a long life. I'm not teaching you how to become like super jacked or some sort of bodybuilder type physique. I'm just teaching you, like, think about the dudes and the chicks in like the 50s. Like, they were not super buff, but they were very healthy. They could move around, they were doing stuff. They could do yard work in their 80s. This is the goal. This is what you need to be doing. So anyways, okay. So I want you to do things so that you'll be able to do activities such as maybe working a field, taking care of animals. Think back to like the olden days. Like, what would you be doing even when you're in your 80s and your 90s? You'd probably be doing a lot of gardening, which requires a lot of squatting. So you're going to need to do that. Jumping, climbing trees, cutting down branches, use your freaking machete. How many burritos is too many burritos? We'll talk about that another time. But there's never really like too many burritos. Anyways. Okay. So you want to try to mimic play when you're moving. Things like children would do when they're running outside, climbing trees, jumping off trees, jumping off high places, running, chasing each other, but not extended running. You want to do short bursts and rest. Just like you're chasing your friend, you run and then you chill and you rest, right? Oh my gosh, I really should have like put makeup on and done my hair, but this is what it is, guys. Anyways, people did not sit at home. They did not sit on computers. They were not in this motion all the time. No, they were out there walking around, going places, picking up stuff, hold your groceries over your shoulder, take them home, blah, 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 blah. You want to try to mimic how we used to look. I mean, the activities we used to do when we used to look good. All right. There's so much toxins in your food, so you need to do a little bit more than even back in the 50s because we have a lot of toxins. We need to move that lymph. So to move the lymph, you need to sweat a lot. So you need to be sweating every single day. Sweating matters. Sweating is important. And this is how we detox, guys. Sweating is a detox. There's some doctors that I saw them online saying that sweating is not a detox. They need to have their license revoked. I don't know what to even do with this kind of ignorance. Like, the fact that people have licenses and don't know that sweating is a detox is wild to me. Anyways, so I'm doing the minimum, the bare minimum. You want to do 10,000 if you can, but the bare minimum steps you need to do per day are 7,000 steps, and that's maintenance mode. So you like your weight, things are doing pretty good. Maintenance, 7,000 steps. 10,000 is like you'll be really good, healthy. It'll help you like look even better. But more than that if you need to lose weight. Just while you need to lose weight. Dear God. Okay. Try to work while standing. I used to poo-poo standing desks, but now I saw like a book from, I think it was like the early 1800, maybe 17 something, the late 1700s. It was like crazy. And it basically was telling people that you get overweight when you sit to work or sit to like write or draw or whatever on a desk. So they were saying if you're drawing or writing to use like an easel, whatever to paint and to stand and like write on the wall like this so that you wouldn't be in that crouch position so that you wouldn't, because they actually said you'd get back up and then you'd get more problems. So I'm thinking they're trying to talk about the lymphatic system backing up and then things kind of collecting in different organs, which makes those organs have to work harder and then can damage them over time. The other thing is jumping. You need to be jumping. It's a crazy thing to say you need to be jumping, but you do need to be jumping because if you jump, the higher up, I'm not talking about on a rebounder for lymphatics. That's amazing. And please do that. I think rebounders are great for your lymphatic system, but jumping is not just about your lymphatic system. Jumping is about your bone health. Okay. So when you jump, the higher up on a hard surface, not on a rug or something cushy, you need to jump on concrete, tile, hard surfaces. The higher you jump and the harder you jump, it's going to create tiny little like vibrations all throughout your bones. And this will make tiny micro detectable type of little micro fractures. And then it's going to repair and your bones are going to get stronger. Repair, stronger, stronger, thicker, thicker, thicker. When you do not jump when you get older, you're not getting these little micro tears that we're supposed to get because we're supposed to be jumping. We're supposed to be doing stuff. We're not supposed to be sitting all day typing or on a computer or writing or whatever. We're supposed to be in the fields all day working and then we just come home to sleep. And if you're not outside, you have to like fake it. Yes, and we'll talk about that. Oh my God. All right, so standing desk, don't sit. Every 15 minutes, if you have to sit, like we have to sit sometimes, we got stupid jobs and stuff, set a timer and 15 minutes of every hour. For the whole 15 minutes, do not sit. Figure something out. Go walk around. I would start jumping, do some squats, do some sort of movement every 15 minutes, for 15 minutes. When I used to work at like an office setting, every 15 minutes, not every 15 minutes, but for 15 minutes of every hour, I would go bother my coworkers. It's a great time to bother your coworkers. And I would go into their offices and then I would just jump up and down to annoy them. I would squat, anything to annoy them, bring a whole bunch of like files and stuff and take them to the file room and take them back, make copies and stuff. Oh, when I would make copies, I would run like I'm running a marathon. And all the lazy people would be like, ugh, what is she doing? But I was thin, so whatever. Okay, another thing you can do to help, this is not going to help make you fit. This is just for your lymphatic system because when you are sitting, you are compressing so many areas. It can, over time, build up fluid in different areas of your legs and stuff. So we want to get that moving. They have these pedal machines that you can put under your desk and you pedal. And I actually have one. So sometimes when I'm on stream, if I feel like my legs are getting numb or something like that, ideally, you want to do that before. I just start pedaling. So you don't even notice, but I'm pedaling. Okay. Now you guys want to talk about lifting weights and stuff like that. This is the bare minimum movements that you need for longevity. So I'm not talking about being jacked. And I know you all want to be jacked. So for longevity, your bare minimum movements are going to be, imagine everything you want to do when you're old. So if you want to be able to put heavy boxes on the top shelf in a closet, let's say, and this is very important, you need to practice this motion with weights. So get some weights and start putting heavy stuff up high. You want to carry heavy stuff over your head. You want to be able to jump. You want to be able to squat, to make big, huge movements where you're lifting things and putting them down, picking them up over your head. Jump with your arms raised up and with some weights if you can. I mean, that sounds crazy and stuff like that, but this is a great movement. But this is just so that you, when you're old, I'm not saying you're going to be super jacked if you do this. This is only so you can live long and do what you need to do. The other one, that's the freaking best exercise. So my dad would tell me about this dude that he was like almost 200 years old. Old as shit, dude. This dude was old. And of course, that used to be common. They used to have like Quaker Oats commercials in Afghanistan with people who were like 170 years old. So that's all been wiped from the internet. We already know that. You can believe me or not believe me. There's nothing I can do to convince you, but there used to be people who used to live a very long time. This used to be very common. And the fact that it's been wiped from the internet is just completely sad. Yes, almost 200 years old. This was capable of being done, no problem. Anyway, so he told me that this guy, this is like in an Islamic country or whatever. So, you know, like those big towers and stuff where like they would do the call to prayer. So he would every day for like his whole life, he would go up these long winding steps to the tower, and then he would do the call to prayer, which is like he would scream or yell or some sort of song. I don't know how it works, whatever. So anyway, so he would do that every single day. I think it was like 5 times a day, right? It is 5, right? So yeah, so he would do that stuff all the time. So he's going up and down these huge flights of stairs and then yelling essentially. And this dude lived forever. And then he was like a marvel and stuff like that. So then they decided, we're going to take him and we're going to study him in the big city. So they take him all the way from his tiny little, oh my God. They take him all the way from his tiny little village where he's like, you know, eating natural foods and everything. He's got like a farm that he eats his food fresh from, all that stuff, right? They take him to the city so they can study him, right? But then they take him to they're like, oh, let's show him the good life, right? They give him a lot of restaurant foods, a lot of fancy places. They take him out. There's like, here's some whining and dining and stuff like that. The dude dies immediately. They kill him. They kill him with the good life. So just remember that, like, you could be like a super healthy person. You go to the restaurant for 1 week and they'll kill you. And it's not like the food was, you know, what it is now. It was really good back then. It was just like, it's just too much. Like he would have small meals of like meat and dairy every day. And then they're taking him to have like a whole bunch of stuff with wine and desserts with sugar, which he never had sugar, which was a very important part of his story that I forgot. But yeah, he never had sugar. He would just have dairy and different meat and organ meats and stuff like that. Like that's what he lived off of. And it was just normal. Oh, and of course, herbs, like fresh herbs, like thyme, rosemary, whatever, like fresh herbs picked right before you eat them. Yes, and this is why I'm going to live very long, and I'm going to be 200 soon. So there you go. Anyways, the other thing you need to do is every time you're going to eat, for your digestion, do not sit down. What's up, fatty? Do not sit down after you eat. What you're going to do is you're going to walk for 20 minutes. Bonus points if it's outside, you get some sun, enjoy yourself. So go outside and walk for 20 minutes, at least 20 minutes. And also it's very relaxing. It's really good for your digestion. A lot of people have reflux because they just sit. They eat and they keep sitting, or they'll lay down, or they'll just relax too much, watch TV, whatever, get on the computer. Eat and then walk. You do not get to sit down after you have eaten. This is a no-no. We're going to go and walk around. And oh my God. Okay. So what else? I think that was it. Okay. When you are exercising, a lot of people want to do long distance running. And I caution against that because the number one people who have a lot of joint replacement surgeries and a lot of chronic, really horrible pains, hip pains, joint pains, shoulder pains, all of these horrible pains, those are the long distance runners. They do not age very well. They might look good, but inside they're in extreme pain. So please be careful when it comes to exercises that you are not doing the type of exercises that are very dangerous long term. Extended running is dangerous long term. Look, it's fun to do a marathon, and by all means, do it if you want to. But your body has to, when you're exercising, think that it's playing, not running from a tiger. Because if it thinks it's running from a tiger, it's going to start storing fat. And it's going to start deprioritizing digestion and prioritizing muscles. Once you do that, you're not going to get your vitamins and minerals because we're being chased by a tiger. We just have to survive. Who cares about, digesting and resting right now? Everything's going to the muscles and the limbs. And this is not what you want. Oh my God. Anyways, so this is especially true for women. So men can get away with a little bit of this type of stuff. That's why the David Goggins of the world, he's still alive, even though he's doing everything wrong. But he is a dude. If you have a woman or if you are a woman, do not let her exercise like a man because immediately her hormones will shut down. And there's this really popular exercise. It's like high interval training. What's it called? High intensity interval training. Yes. It's like Orange Theory. There's different ones that sprung up. A lot of people got into it. If what you were doing before was just face pounding sugar, and then you stop face pounding sugar and then you join this class, yeah, you lose a little bit of weight, of course. But if the problem was not face pounding sugar, but you had some hormone problems and that was causing you to gain weight, or you had thyroid problems, or you had any other of those problems, and then you go, I'm going to lose weight by going to do high intensity interval training, what you would do, especially as a woman, is you would raise your cortisol, and then you would start getting a buffalo hump, excessive swelling and lumpy stomachs. All right. That is from cortisol. We do not want cortisol. And then also you get like chicken legs sometimes if it's advanced. Chicken legs and the big gut and the hump and the big fatness on the shoulders and the back of the neck, that is cortisol. That's because your body's under stress. Whatever you're doing is stressing out your body. Other things you can be doing to stress out your body are not sleeping. It doesn't really matter what you do for any of these things. If you're not sleeping, you're still going to die early and be unhealthy. Nobody can help you if you don't sleep. That's just the long and short of it. And throughout history, we used to sleep at different times on different types of schedules. In Victorian times, we had 2 sleeps. So you would go to sleep at 7 p.m. for like 4 hours. And then then maybe you wake up around 12 and you have like 3 hours where you're awake. And during this time, people would like bang, or they would write poetry, or they would do work, writing type work, because this was before computers. And yeah, so you would have like a quiet time in the middle of the night where you got to do whatever you wanted. People would paint and do fun things, or they'd sit and talk with their significant others because it's the middle of the night. So, that's like a really cute way to sleep. I think it's the best, but how are we going to get people to go to sleep at 7 p.m.? Are you crazy? It's never going to happen here. People are just up all night, crazy times. Anyways, so then after the couple 3 hour period, they would sleep another 4 hours, and then they'd still wake up really early. And they got their 8 hours of sleep. The myth is that you need to get 8 hours in a row. It's not true. You just need 8 hours a day. And you don't want to split it up in more than like 4 hours twice. You don't want to do 3 times, whatever. You just want to do 4-hour periods twice a day. So you can even do like how they do in some European countries. They will take like a siesta in the middle of the day. And especially in summer, it was very common for people to sleep during the hottest times of the day because they couldn't go outside to work. they didn't want to travel. They didn't want to leave their homes. It was just too freaking hot. So because it's so hot and there's no air conditioning or anything like that, they would just sleep during the day for 4 hours, and then they would do stuff when the sun was like not as hot. Yes. Oh God. Anyways, so I believe that is everything, unless somebody has any questions. This is just a short one because movement should be pretty basic. You just got to move. So, oh, the other thing that I forgot to mention. Okay, why elderly people in Asian countries are healthier, they have a longer health span. I'm not talking about lifespan, health span. We have like the shittiest health span in America. We don't have health. We're just barely alive. They do something called Tai Chi. None of this was taken from ChatGPT. Thank you. Anyways, so do Tai Chi. Tai Chi is where, I don't know if it's freaking satanic or whatever, but you can just like make up your own Tai Chi. It's like you have to like pretend there's like a ball of energy and like you're moving it around. And while you're doing this, you're squatting, you're doing big movements, you're like moving, whatever. You can look it up on the internet. It's not really like yoga, but they do have poses like yoga. So that makes me think it could be a little satanic. So make up your own. The important thing is you're moving. It's a lot of movement. Also, there's a lot of trails in parks and stuff where they have like pull-up bars and things like that. And in Asian countries, these people actually use them. Like for us, it's just like decoration or something. But in other countries, they actually use those things. So like they will go to the park to walk and they'll be like exercise little things every couple, I don't know, miles, feet, whatever it is. And then they'll do like the pull-ups and stuff. And you'll see very elderly people, like 90 years old, doing pull-ups, and not only pull-ups, but like doing stuff that looks like gymnast type weird stuff. And that's very humbling. We can't do any of that here because we're just terrible. So try to do that. You should be able to lift your own body weight. I know, crazy, right? And I just would like to remind everybody that when I was in high school, I could do 14 pull-ups. This was the most any female had ever done. Thank you. Now I can do 2, but hey, I'm old. So I really need to go out there and do some pull-ups. I still have calluses from all the pull-ups that I used to do. And no, calluses. That's right. It happened. This is my proof. So, I mean, yes, I can do 2 pull-ups now, but I used to do 14. And that was the first time I ever did pull-ups. That was my first time. I could do more after because I was like, oh my gosh, I can do pull-ups. And this is like making people upset and jealous. This is great. So then I started doing weight training so that I could do more pull-ups to piss people off more because that's fun. Also, I'm really good at short distance running, not long distance, because who wants to do that? Even I back then knew like that's dumb. But I would do like short sprints and stuff and race people. And I was very fast. I was the 4th fastest person in my high school for short sprints. This is right. All right. There's no way that we can prove. Actually, I do have someone that I know, my BFF, who is just as tiny as I am. Like we're like the same body type, especially in high school. We're like the same skinny little tiny girls. And so I went up, I did my 14 pull-ups, and everybody was saying it's not fair. It's because she's skinny and she's short and skinny. And like it's not like it's not hard for her to do that type of stuff. No, she's married with kids. Anyways, so then my friend who just had the same exact skinny little bodies, we're the same height, same weight, same. Then she went up there and she couldn't even hang, like hang from the bar. And then I was like, you see, it's me. I'm just super. Yeah. So anyways, she is still super, 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 super thin. She's exactly the same weight and everything as when we were in high school. She looks great, and she has like 3 or 4 kids. Oh my God. Okay, if anyone has any questions other than that, I mean, this is a short stream. This is just movement. This is the least one that I feel like I have to. Nobody's on Ozempic. The people that I actually know that took Ozempic because they're very, very overweight, they gained it all back. Or they just lost it in their face and they look like they're elderly now. So Ozempic is not the way, guys. That is all I have today. Yeah, I might stream later tonight if I think of a topic. Bye. Carnivore, no. Yes, we already talked about food. Okay. All right. Have a good one, guys.